Hello, and welcome to another MCO update on Bitcoin. Not too much price action today. In fact, you could say the forecast I provided in the last update is still valid, still all relevant. We want to take a little bit, we want to take a small look rather here at the smaller time frame pattern for BTC, and it looks like we could still be working here on this wave 4 correction. It's only seen as a sideways consolidation pattern for now, and I explained to you in the last video that it might very well be that we have struck a B wave top there and we come down in the C wave. I mean, to be honest, this is only really nano analysis, and the thesis behind this was that maybe we have formed, let me just change that. Maybe that we formed something like a WXY structure in this B wave or something. Ultimately, there are many other ways how this could be labeled. Yeah, this might even turn still into a triangle. Okay, so that's possible. It's also possible that we've already started the fifth wave, but I need a break above the $104,350 level for that. The main takeaway, and I just try to communicate that in the last few days, is that we could still and probably should still get one more high. So I'd like to see one more high on the Bitcoin chart on the nano level, okay? But ultimately, when we go to the daily time frame for Bitcoin, ultimately we should be quite close to a top because we have formed 5 waves to the upside. So the idea is, from the April low, we have formed a 5-wave move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that 5-wave move is likely an A wave. So we have to be ready for a B wave pullback before we then go higher in the C wave. At least we have to be ready for it. I'm not calling for a top yet. I'm not calling for that B wave to have started at this point. No. All I'm saying is the A wave might even get another high on the micro level. Yeah. It is important to understand, and some of you will hear about this all the time, like, sell in May, go away, whatever. And then that could very well be true, given that we might see a month-long correction in this B wave. And maybe we grind higher in this A wave for another week or so. Okay, then it's mid-May, maybe even end of May. Then the correction starts, and it might take a month. And then sort of maybe in July, we start that C wave rally to the upside. Just an idea. I mean, this is just, it's not even an assumption. I'm just saying how it could play out, one of the scenarios. And main takeaway is we have all the requirements in place, yeah, for the price to form a corrective pullback. The chart is prepared for that. And then to hold ideally 80,200. Obviously, the bulls need to turn up in this Fibonacci support area, which is currently defined between 80,200 and 92,000. And so as long as we're holding that support area, the overall bullish thesis remains alive. And that is still the preferred interpretation. Yeah, this ABC structure to the upside would still prefer that for that to play out. For any bearish count, the red scenario, for example, we really need an immediate breakdown and a break below 80,000 to clearly prefer that. Someone asked me in the last video in the comments, why am I suddenly bearish? I don't know which video you watched, but I'm not bearish, okay? This is a bullish scenario. I've been bullish still. I don't know. I haven't become bearish yet. Let's call it like that. The white scenario is still preferred and it should take us to all-time highs. All I'm saying, just be ready for that B wave pullback. That B wave isn't bearish, okay? It might feel bearish to some, but as long as the move to the downside is corrective in nature, it could actually be an opportunity for one more upside extension in this cycle. And that very well adds up with my larger time frame view. So let's take a look at the long-term log chart as well. It adds very well up with my view that we should get here on the larger time frame. We should get close here to a major top in this larger degree third wave, and then we could get a long correction, which might be an A, B, C structure in a very large wave 4 correction. But even in this scenario, that B wave might even overshoot or go to a new high. Or in the second scenario that I'm tracking, just a slightly different wave count, in which we also are quite close to a top. It's the same, essentially the move up from the 2022 low is the same on both of these, but the extent of the correction is different. So here we should also see a correction that might be a bit smaller than on the first chart I showed you. It just depends on which long-term chart we're looking at. I have discussed these long-term charts in detail on the main channel, MCO Global. You can find a link to that channel in the video description in case you want a more in-depth analysis. But I just thought it might be worth just showing you all the bigger picture, larger time frame context again. And it's coming together nicely. And I have added already, like in November or so, this long-term top just target zone. We haven't really moved much since then, but I just wanted to explain again, this is an area where a long-term top could be struck. 133, 132K sort of would be an ideal target. I'm not saying this is the maximum, but obviously the wave count looks very full from the 2022 low. Bitcoin has formed a beautiful upside impulse from the 2022 low. Just that one more high would still be ideal. And that's, again, why I'm not bearish, okay? I'm still bullish. Just highlighting obviously the risk, yeah. I mean, to be honest, on the smaller time frame here, on the short-term chart, there isn't really much to say. This is just a consolidation pattern. I can give you probably 5 wave counts for this. Could even track this as a triangle. I could even say the B wave is here, or it's a WXY pattern, but that would again make it quite complex. We don't necessarily need to focus too much here on the nano patterns because they shift all the time. Corrections like to shift. That's what they do. So yeah, this might be a reasonable interpretation here. So that we're just working on this C wave down. Told you it might be a B wave top, yeah, and then a C wave down could be unfolding. But yeah, any break above the Friday high there could trigger the next rally and complete then, even on the nano level, this move to the upside. That's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, if you're interested in the membership, tomorrow we've got our member live stream. Typically, we cover around 40 coins in that member live stream. So if you have any questions, that's a great time to ask. Any coin requests, whatever. That will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. UTC. So yeah, have a great Saturday, Sunday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.